Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Sketchbook Diaries. Today I have the privilege and honor of talking to the very talented Maneh Adel. We're going to be talking about art and all the wonderful things about art, her sketchbooks, and later on we're going to take a look at her sketchbooks. But right now I'd like to get to know Maneh a little bit more for the people who don't know her and have a little conversation. All right, Maneh, now, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Now, when did you first start drawing and getting into art?
I'll be honest, I don't remember because I just remember walking into my room, seeing my brother drawing, and at the time we had like a private teacher and I just intruded into his room and I grabbed the pencil and I started drawing. One thing led to another. We both got into a competition. I ended up winning first place. I continued art. He dropped out of it.
And so you continued it, and what did he get into?
He got into like engineering and physics and science, math.
Okay, so you're the artist in the family.
Yeah.
What about your parents? Are they, are they into art or are they in the arts?
Yes, my mom is a piano teacher. She taught me piano, taught me all like my musical knowledge, and then my dad is probably the furthest thing away from art. He likes it. I don't think he could draw though.
What does he do?
He's a car mechanic.
But he paints cars though, right? He's a body shop.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Oh, that's art. He's got, he does his thing.
Sure.
And then, since you mentioned mom too. Mom, you said she's a music teacher,
Yes.
but her training is far beyond just being a musical teacher. She's a very accomplished musician.
Yes, she taught me piano for like 8 years. She taught me how to sing, how to write music, music theory, all those wonderful things. Thanks, Mom. Love you.
And she graduated one of the best schools.
I don't remember which one she graduated.
Yeah, but it's one of the highest schools in Armenia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why I mention it again is because you come from the arts, and your family's in the arts, and so that's wonderful. That's where you get the support from.
Yeah.
When you first started to draw,
Okay.
do you remember what interested you the most?
Yes. It's always been clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember walking down, I don't remember which store it was, but I saw, now it feels ugly in my head. It was hot pink and green. It was a dress. Pretty sure it was probably supposed to be like a prom dress or something. And I remember looking at it and telling my mom, Mom, I want that. And she was like, no. Walked away from the store, and then from that day on, I would just like continue thinking about clothes because I was like, I want that, I want that, I want that. And then I think that was the year that I had to be a flower girl for someone's wedding, so I had like a white dress. And I remember putting that on, and I was so happy to just have like a really like big, cute like dress. I was 7, so I think I was just like interested in clothes, and then from then on, it's always been clothes. And shoes. I remember having multiple pairs of shoes and only wearing one because I had to keep the other one dead stock.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what that means, but that's fine.
I had to be packaged. I didn't like opening it up.
Means. Yeah. So mint.
Yeah.
That's the language I know. So fashion and shoe design and product in a sense, sort of. So when you first started drawing, this was what you were like sketching and doing?
No, I was sketching random animals, grasshoppers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Grasshoppers are my thing. I don't know why.
Oh, that's cool. Well, when you're young, you just draw whatever you feel like. It's the best part about being young. When did you know that you wanted to take it a little bit more seriously?
I don't know. I just think it was like a natural progression of anytime a teacher in school would be like, choose your elective, mine was always, okay, where's the art elective? I need to pick one of like, I don't care if it's music or if it was ceramics or art or if it was drama. It was always something in the arts. I never liked math, never liked, oh God, no, I just don't like those things.
The stuff your brother likes.
Yeah, I don't like them. So it was just, I don't remember like, oh, like 8th grade, I decided I'm going to do this. It was just naturally, I wanted that.
Mm-hmm. In 8th grade, did you have that weird voice you just did?
No.
It's cool. That's your 8th grade voice.
I remember, this is so random. I don't know why I remember this, but I remember cutting up my mom's curtains and then making dresses for my dolls. I remember that. I remember like weird things that it just hinted towards me being like in fashion. I would always had like this hot pink bag growing up. Just had like a lot of fashion related stuff. I was
Yeah.
always a diva. I'll be honest.
As was I. As was I. No. So now I'm going to kind of repeat the question I asked before. When did you know you wanted to get into fashion and want to become a fashion designer? When did you know you actually want to make
Like
that
when
into
did
a
I like
career?
oh like I was like this is what I want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say a story time so you figure it out. I think I
It's
was
great. We have to do math now.
I think I was 5. My uncle asked me, "What do you want to be?" And I said, "Fashion designer." And I specifically remember where I was, and then what I was wearing, what the people around me were wearing. And then I had my own YouTube channel when I was 10. I think I was 10. And I was showcasing all the fashion designs I drew on like lined paper. I think I just knew. I'll be honest. I think I just knew.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could know what you want to do early on. And that's always really nice because, kind of saves you all the trouble
Yeah,
of
it does.
later on, like, what do I do with my life? What am I going to do now? You know, I've known you for a long time now, and I've gotten to see you grow up and see the work that you're doing. And for the longest time now, you've been into fashion and shoes. I think
Yeah.
what I remember is you first starting with shoes, because you talked my head off about shoes all the time as if I knew anything about shoes, and then you convinced me to buy way more shoes than I needed at a certain time. I think it was like 2019 or something.
Yeah, or something
I went on a shoe buying spree because you're like, oh, you got to get the Nikes and all this stuff, and I grew up in the Payless shoes store time, so we didn't have that type of shoes or the ability to buy those types of shoes. So now I have like 3 pairs of Nikes or whatever it
You
is.
have like Jordans.
I got Jordans, whatever it is, and like all the kids are like, Mr. Alex, those shoes are so cool, and I'm like, yeah, it's Maneh,
Yeah.
So I remember, of course, you getting into shoes first, and then clothing, and we'll talk about how that's progressed. But you're in college now.
Yes.
But it's not the college you want to go to. It's kind of it's a community college at the
Yes.
moment, and you're working towards going to the school you want to go to.
Yes.
What are those schools?
Pratt and Parsons, which are in New York. There's FIT, which is Fashion Institute of Technology, which is also in New York. I think I'm really aiming for New York only because I don't think my mom can survive without me. So
Just take her with you.
I know, I've offered. I've
Yeah.
told her she can come with me, and I would be more than happy if she came with me. So I think Pratt, Parsons, and FIT, but mainly Pratt and Parsons.
Yeah. Well, both of them are very, very good schools,
Yeah.
and you'd be a great fit there.
Thank
And you're working towards your portfolio. You actually have a lot of your portfolio. Your portfolio is very impressive, and watching you in the last few years and seeing how much you've progressed in that area. I know there are things that you don't like to do, just like all of the students. There's things that you have your strengths and weaknesses. Just fashion and product design, shoes. This is where you really excel. And going back a few years, I kept saying, this is what you're going to do. And even when I would talk to your mom, I'd say, this is what she's going to do. No doubt about it. This is what she needs to do.
Yeah.
And I kept in my head, I kept thinking, oh God, I can't wait for the day when I see your clothing and your products and all this stuff out there in the world. And speaking to that, because one day you will be that person where we'll say, oh, we knew her.
Yeah.
Or we know her, and we'll know, we'll see all the amazing things you're doing in that field. But what, or who should I say, inspired you?
Okay. I don't know where to start because I'll start off with my mom first. I remember flipping through her albums, like her photo album, and it was photos of my mom, my aunt, and my grandma, which I'm really connected to all 3 of them. I remember flipping through the albums and seeing a photo of my mom on a red Corvette wearing a red turtleneck with blue jeans, think she was just wearing slides.
In Armenia?
No, this is here.
Okay, I was gonna say, who in Armenia has a red Corvette? Like, geez.
No, this is here. And then I like some of their photos back when they were in Armenia was like them like by
70s bell bottoms and stuff.
No, it was like them wearing like a really nice like classy skirt. I just remember like seeing those images and then wanting to recreate those outfits because I was like, that's so cool. So I think my mom first, and obviously my aunt and my grandma, but I think it was like mainly my aunt, my mom. And then my mom, who also put me in music, I got really connected to one of my piano teachers, extremely connected. And I'll even like give her a bunch of credit for my fashion taste and even like how I feel like she shaped me with my mom. I'm like a combination of those two. She would wear really interesting outfits that were like out of style right now, but they were in style maybe in like the 80s and 90s. And I thought it was so cool that she's just doing whatever she wants to do. So as of people that I know, those two people, my mom and my piano teacher. And then as of like people that are like famous, obviously it's like people in hip hop, I guess. It's like Rihanna, love her. A$AP Rocky, love him. I can't really pinpoint like a fashion designer though.
Well, I can.
Well,
For
Virgil
you.
Abloh.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
a big
Virgil.
one for you.
I love Virgil. I love Tinker. I love Tinker for how
Tinker Hatfield,
For
a
sure.
very legendary designer for Nike.
Sneakerheads kind of inspire me a little bit more than like fashion people. I think you could just relate everything to sneaker culture.
Well, what about artists? Because I know there's a few artists that you really love.
As in painters?
Yeah, traditional artists, designers. Because you take all of those things, and I'm going to talk about this a little later on, but you take a bunch of those inspirations and you combine them in your work.
Yeah, I do.
And so I know that you're inspired, and you know, you're heavily inspired by them. I mean, these are people you look up to. There's people, I didn't know Virgil Abloh.
Yeah,
I didn't know who he was. And you started to talk about it. I'm like, oh, you know, and I started to look at the work. And I was inspired by those artists because of how much they inspired you.
Yeah.
You know, whether I like the work or not, of course I appreciate all of it, but I was really inspired by how they influenced you in your work in such a positive and a good way. And that's something that's honestly that's rare these days, is for young people to be inspired by these people. And so I was very happy about that. But there's also artists that you look up to.
Yeah.
And so if you can talk a little bit about those artists.
The one that I can clearly remember off the top of my head, Takashi Murakami. Love him. I think, it just gets me so excited that he just does what he wants to do and he doesn't care. The designer at Moschino, I forgot his name. Jeremy Scott. I remember seeing his Adidas actually on Lil Wayne. Like, not when Lil Wayne performed. This is like, I got older, I got into social media, and then I found out these photos of Lil Wayne wearing Jeremy Scott's teddy bear shoes. They're Adidas. There's literally a teddy bear just like glued on top of like the shoe. I remember seeing his stuff and being really like inspired to just do what I want to do. He got kicked out of school. I really like H.R. Geiger's stuff after you showed me.
H.R. Geiger's amazing. He's awesome.
His book. His book just gets me so happy.
A lot of people are inspired by H.R. Geiger. He's one of a kind. Legend. You do appreciate traditional art?
Yeah, I do. I appreciate all of it. I just don't think I'm like necessarily into it as much, which is fine. I kind of like comic book art more. I like illustrative art, airbrushed art.
Yeah.
I like art that's a little bit more different. I like things that someone would say, I don't like that. I'd be the one to be like, I like that.
Yeah.
And I'll be very proud to say I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly how you are.
Yeah.
So that's the Maneh we know. So, you know, these are all of these people inspire you, and I can see it in your work, and it shows. Now, you want to go to college and continue fashion, product, and shoe design, and everything that encompasses. What do you want to do? What's your future like? What do you want to do? What's your goal as an artist? You know, down the road.
Okay, like where I see myself.
Yeah, where do you see yourself?
I definitely want to have my own brand, and I want to be successful, but not in the way where I have money and I have a mansion and I have all these cars.
A lot of people have that.
I don't want that. I want someone to look at my artwork and be inspired by my artwork the same way I'm inspired by other people's artwork. And I want
right.
to influence someone in a good way, not in a bad way. I want to influence someone and just make them feel like their dreams could be a reality. I want to accomplish that for myself first. I just want to make myself proud. I think that's like my thing. And I think that would be becoming a designer. And even if my name isn't out there, I still want to like create clothes. I want to see someone wear my clothes.
It's amazing, you know, when you see people wearing your clothes and again, appreciating your thoughts and ideas of what you did as an artist.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's an awesome thing to
It's kind
to
of
be
like
able
a
to do.
compliment, but like in a second-hand
It's an
way.
amazing
kind of.
compliment.
Yeah, it is.
It's an amazing compliment. Of course, fashion is such a big industry. It's such a big part of our everyday life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wholeheartedly believe that is where you will be. All these years I've known you, I've always said it. That's where you're going to be. And when you felt like, oh, I'm going to give up and I don't want to do it, you know, whether it was me or your mom or other people, we just kept saying, no, there's no.
That's not an option.
That's not an option to just be like, no, I'm not going to do it. Because if you suck, I'm going to tell you suck. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to, you know, unless you're like 9 or 10 years
And I
old.
appreciate that. I need blunt people in my life that are just going to tell me it's bad.
You need to know what you are good at, what you are bad at, so that way you can, you know, pick the path that best fits you. If I lie to you and say, oh, you're amazing and all that stuff, I'm not really doing anything good for you. I like to think that I've been honest with all my students. And, you know, with you, there have been days when you called me and said, you know, Mr. Alex, I don't want to do this. I'm not feeling good about you're running out of ideas, which happens. Listen, we all question ourselves. All of us question ourselves. I've had it. All artists have. If they tell you they haven't, they're lying to you. We all second guess and, you know, don't always fully have that confidence that we need. So this is what I want to get to is I would give you the most random things. In my mind, I'm like, listen, there's nothing that this girl cannot handle, okay? And so I enjoyed thinking of obscure and weird things and throwing it at you. And look, I am very proud of the things that you've done. I'm very proud of your ideas. I think that they are really, you know, just amazing ideas. I'm proud of the work that you do. I'm proud of how quickly you can, you know, make your idea come to life. This is why I again wholeheartedly believe that you're going to get to where you're going to, you know, that the place that you want. We're going to get to know you as a fashion designer. People are going to wear your clothes. You're going to be a name in households and on television, whatever it is, because this is something that's very natural for you, and that is how I've seen it. I'm not again saying this to inflate your ego because it's already insanely inflated, but I've just always been inspired by how quickly you accomplish your ideas. I give you a prompt, those times that I gave you the prompt, and I already knew, without a doubt, you're going to come up with something good. Of course, the struggle with that type of greatness is there. You're going to struggle to get to those great ideas, and you did, but I'm always been so proud of the work that you've done and you continue to do, and like 1,000% confidence in your, you know, future endeavors. I know that you're going to get there. Let's talk a little bit about sketchbooks. Okay. When did you start to use them? Okay. Like how old were you when you're like, okay, I got to start keeping sketchbooks? Because some of those sketchbooks are before my time. Some of these are like, I wasn't even your teacher.
Ancient.
These are ancient. I think a couple of those were used in biblical times or something. But when did you first start to keep a sketchbook? And I'm you know, when I see that stack of sketchbooks, I'm so proud because that's before my time. I lecture you guys on sketchbooks, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen all these.
I haven't seen those, and I can't wait to see them. But when did you start those, and what role does a sketchbook play in your life?
Okay, I don't remember when I started them, I'll be honest. I think, I would draw on printer paper.
Ew.
Don't do that.
It's all good.
I still have some of those drawings. I would draw on like lined paper, on graph paper. I would draw on my homework. I would get in trouble for drawing on my homework. Don't do that. I would get in trouble for drawing on my tests. I wouldn't do my tests. I would draw on my test. My mom's gonna get so mad at me. I wouldn't.
Okay, Sherry knows
this.
It's
fine.
Sherry knows
it's
this.
Fine. I graduated, Mom. We're fine.
This is a tell-all.
I turned out fine, but I would draw everywhere. I would draw on my walls. I would draw on my shoes. I remember like customizing my shoes. I would like. I don't know why I would want to draw on them. I would just draw on them. I would draw on my backpack. I would draw on my hands. I would draw on my clothes. I would draw literally anywhere I got the chance.
Were your parents just full of drawings? Did you draw on your dad when he came from work? You're like, Dad, can I just draw? Can I use that arm space?
No, I remember like, whose back was it? I think I like drew or painted someone or something.
Some relative of yours for sure has a drawing still.
I don't know, but I would draw everywhere.
Yeah. When you first started to use a sketchbook, do you remember, I mean, I know you don't remember when you started, but do you remember what you were drawing? What inspired you at that time? You said grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers and ladybugs. I don't know what it's been. It's cool to me.
Yeah.
Bugs and insects and.
How important is a sketchbook to you?
Oh, they're my best friends.
Yeah.
I can't live without them. I love them. I would rather be with these people than be with humans. Love you guys, but no, I like these.
Yeah.
They're fun. I get to be myself in them. I don't have to worry about what anyone's thinking of me. I don't have to worry about what anyone's gonna think about my sketchbook. It's just me and myself, and it's my happy place. I love them and I want to be with it forever.
Yeah. How important is your sketchbook in preparation for the work that you actually do? Your fashion sketches, paintings, and anything that you are going to do, whether it's make a dress or whatever it is. How important of a role does your sketchbook play? Is that something that you use for that?
Oh, I feel like this is my assistant at that point.
Yeah.
You'll see some of my sketches or some of my even paintings, there'll be maybe 10 pages of me just trying to understand what colors am I going to use? What medium am I going to use? How am I going to lay this out? What's going to be underneath it? What's going to be on top of it? How am I going to render this? How am I going to do this? This. I figured it all out in my sketchbook before I translated it into my actual work. A lot of my bigger fashion pieces that I've done have always been in my sketchbook. It's just, oh, okay, I don't like how watercolor looks on this, so I'm going to use this medium. Or, oh, I don't like how that looks. No, let me like backtrack. Let me do this. So it's my personal assistant. It's my best friend.
Very quickly, before we look at the sketchbooks, I want to mention that on Monday, which is March 21st, is Maneh's birthday. So, wanted to wish you a happy birthday. This is a very special episode because we're filming it we're close to your birthday, and very happy birthday.
Thank you.
And we'll celebrate on Monday. Maneh, thank you for the conversation. I know we can talk a lot more. Thank you for bringing these sketchbooks. We're going to take a look at them and sharing them with us. You know, check her out on Instagram, and she's always putting the work that she's doing. We're working on a really cool collaborative piece together, and I'll include that somewhat in the video. But thank you, Maneh, for allowing us to look at your sketchbook.
Thank
you. Yeah, let's open some of these up.
Let's do it. I'm
All right.
excited. This is my first sketchbook from 2014. This is the grasshopper I always keep mentioning. I think I have multiple of these sketches. I don't know where the other ones are though. And I don't know what these are, but they're just, I think I was in class when this happened, like the first studio I went to. Weird random dresses, shoes. I think I was testing out makeup on this page if I'm not wrong. No, it's ripped though. Oh. It's an eye. More random dresses. I forgot which character this was. I was obsessed with her. This is the sketch for the skateboard. I think it started off with this, but we took out SpongeBob and we took out this is the actual one that we ended up doing. This is the sketch of it. This is an inflatable little hat. I thought it would be cool if it was made from like a kiddie pool material and like you can inflate it and then wear like a big hat. Nike, please sponsor me. I'm begging you. These are shoes that actually Nike ended up making back in 2020 or 2021, and it basically has a zipper that you can like take off. So instead of being a high top shoe, you can turn it into a low top shoe. I drew this before Nike came out with this, so thank you for stealing my idea. This one actually reminds me of the Sakai Nike collab that was done beginning of 2020. I imagined these to be like Velcro, and you can like stick them on wherever. Like the shoe was entirely Velcro, and then you had a bunch of Nike swooshes, and you would just like stick them on wherever. And then like a sole that's kind of deconstructed, but it's like a triple layer sole. Once again, Sky actually ended up doing this. I drew this before. This one actually ended up doing the big sketch.
Can you bring that sketch out? Let's just
Yeah.
take a look at it real quick.
I don't know how zoomed that in is. Good. So this is the sketch, the bigger version. It's watercolor and colored pencil. Really like this one. You can clearly see like I was obsessed with planets and I still am. Yeah.
Can we see the sketch again?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. And then I drew the shoes on a separate page for this. It's like the shoe startup. These are the actual shoes. But it was really cool if they were like metal, I guess like almost like headbands for your feet, but they were just like going over your foot. More fashion stuff. This is done with ink. I think this is when I got like Mr. X gave me ink for the first time, and I was just trying to understand how it works. More ink stuff. I really like this one actually. It reminds me of From Dusk Till Dawn. I feel like it would be used in that movie. More ink stuff, just trying to figure out how ink works. I think this is ink and watercolor if I'm not wrong. This is ink. This is just full ink. Oh, I remember. This is when you wanted me to just do ink silhouettes and I would close my eye and just draw stuff. But I didn't do it in this sketchbook. I did it in another one. This is fully me. I think I saw this in a dream and then I woke up in terror and I decided to draw it. Once again, another bouncy shoe, but like this part would be all air. I love the beach. And
Who doesn't?
You.
I love the beach. I don't want to swim in the ocean and get eaten by sharks.
Look at this. It actually says
Totally
Walk
valid.
on Water on Mars. Walk on Water is a song from Cozy Tapes Volume 2. ASAP Mop, thank you so much. And then On Mars is because, you know.
And FYI, sharks are scary. So
They're not. This I love. This was actually, I saw a rock. I thought it was so cool. And I thought the shape of it was cool. This is not what the rock looked like. The shape was like some weird random geometric shape. I ended up doing this from that. Don't know how I got inspired by it, but I did. Ooh, these are Rick Owens. I forgot to mention Rick Owens this entire time. I love Rick Owens way too much. Rick Owens has these really cool, almost space-like shoes. This is inspired by that. And then I forgot who did this top one. I think YSL had a shoe that was mainly like Swarovski crystals, but it kind of hid the silhouette of the shoe. Took a lot of inspiration from that. This is the first sketch of this page. I love it so much. I had this paper left over from my art center butterfly dress. Decided to basically recycle it into this. This is a self-portrait of me. This is ink and watercolor, if I remember correctly. This I just wanted to mix around with texture because on the big canvas, I did a bunch of texture and I really still wanted to experiment. I kiss the paper. Actually, I do that a lot. I kiss a lot of papers. This is my favorite page. I think one of my favorite pages. It's easy to say. Space shoes. And then, again, like, I still really want to mess with texture a lot, so I was using slow dry acrylic to get this texture. And then this is done with acrylic. This is done with slow dry acrylic as the texture, watercolor, and colored pencils. Really love this spread. More fashion sketches. These are, at this point, I don't think I'm taking any inspiration from anything. It's just kind of like my own creativity and my own brain. Oh, I love this page. This is a cause bear. And then this is, I was listening to, I love how this entire, like, a lot of my sketches are inspired by Cozy Tapes Volume 2 by ASAP Mob. I think this is the song What Happens. I don't know why I wanted to draw this, but that's the song that, like, triggered me to draw this. This is done in acrylic gouache. And then on top of that, that same furniture shine thing I was talking about, I literally got a damp paper towel, dipped it into the shine, and then I polished it on top, kind of. Like, I don't know how that material functions, but I love it. And then I went over the blue. I wanted that to pop out, but right when I finished the piece, or I guess a couple weeks before finishing the piece, that's when Virgil Abloh sadly passed away. But yeah, this is just in memory of him. I really like the shoes on that. I like the different textures I did. The shoes are actually, like, I got inspiration from pyrite, which is a type of rock. And then the overall silhouette of the shoe is from, I guess how a nucleus looks, like an atom, how the electrons spin around it. I don't know how I got inspiration from that. And then those, like the actual buckle of the shoe, would be like a watch, like how a watch is, the folds of a watch. These have like zippers. You can like remove this zipper part and then you can take the legs off, so then you have shorts. A vest that kind of matches with the pants. Overall, I really like how everything over here came out. I really like this sketch, probably one of my favorite. This is a sketchbook from maybe January. Actually later, but this is clone number 2. These are sketches for Clockwork Orange as well. More sketches for just costume design. This page, I just wanted to mess around with cutouts. I was looking at plants, and then, I don't know, I just wanted to cut things out. Oh my god, I love this page. That's me. And then these little germ bots that I feel like are gonna be like the staple in this sketchbook, because I keep drawing them. I love this one. This is a self-portrait of me. I love ladybugs. It's still like, I think everything from when I was a kid still translates to me as like an older person. Not much has really changed, but that's me. This is another sketch I did, mixed media. This is gouache, charcoal. That little thing is acrylic, and then photography. I took that photo and I just wanted to incorporate it somewhere. And I drew demons and that little germ again. And recently, I don't know what happened, but I wasn't seeing everything clearly. So I just wanted to draw how like blurry my vision was. It doesn't look as blurry now that I'm looking at it. This is a bigger illustration that I did.
It's still mind-boggling to me that you can come up with these insane ideas just from someone giving you a prompt or a little bit of an idea, and then you just take it from there and turn it into something amazing and magical.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love them. Love them.
Thank you.
I'm going to wear that one day. Where can people find your work? Where are you, what platform are you using these days? And, if you can, I put your handle throughout the whole episode.
You can put my handle. I'm kind of bad with social media.
No, I'll put the handle. Where can we get to see your work?
You can find my work. I have 2 accounts. You can find them on Maneh Adel, or you can find them on Maneh's Planet.
Maneh's Planet. That's not, There's no ego there at all, is there? All right, everybody. Thank you for watching another episode of Sketchbook Diaries with the wonderful and fabulous Maneh Adel.
Thank you so much for having me, and make sure to watch the next episode, which you get to see my twin, Mary Narcissian. I love you, boo.
All right, everyone. Catch you next time. Bye, everybody.